Hello. I think a few more things to check. Okay, we should be good to get started. Hi. So, promised to make a stream about 2 weeks ago. The promise was made about 3 weeks ago. And then I got sick, so I'm a little bit behind schedule. Regarding schedules, I made the promise to the local keyboard community that I will try and get everything that I currently have in my backlog built for the meetup, which is on the 25th of March, if I'm not mistaken. It's not coming along good, but well, I mean, we have one of the boards here in front of me right now, which I will cut to in a moment. And today we are building another one. I think that leaves like 1 or 2 rebuilds, and then like a build of a keyboard that's like supposed to arrive in like a week or so. But yeah, so let me swap over to something. There we go. This is what we built the last time. This is the Maker Scarlet, or my first TKL. Absolutely love how it looks. Absolutely hate the layout. I've sort of tried getting along with it and like actually used it for a weekend after I built it, because I think the last build stream was on like Friday, on a Friday. The moment that I started work on Monday, like I think I spent like 30 seconds in like a code editor and then decided to, well, yeah, no, that's not gonna fly. Looks great though. But enough of that. What are we building today? Today, drum roll, I wish I had a button for that. Today we are building this guy. This is Praxis, or Praxis, or I don't even know how to pronounce it properly. This is an Alice style plastic keyboard. I haven't really built any plastic boards before, so this should prove to be interesting. Well, I've helped build one, but okay, the light is a bit wild. But yeah, we have the PCB, and we have the case in nice sort of translucent blue. Does it have LEDs? No, it doesn't. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, cool. So we're gonna get some light show stuff going on later on as well. But before we do that, let's just quickly try and connect this up for a moment. See if it works first of all, and then see where we can get the stabilizer from. Let me get my work mat. So what is this? What's up with the layout? This is something that's known as an Alice layout in the custom keyboards hobby. Oh, we have a new follow as well, by the way, from Josie Poser. Thank you very much for the follow. Glad you're here. Glad you've decided to make your presence known by clicking a button. And yeah, I'm not doing a good job at opening this, but whatever. It's not like I'm going to be resealing it like a considerable number of times or anything. Okay, so we have the PCB. what was I saying? Oh yeah, what is an Alice? Alice is essentially it's the name of this layout. I think it started with a board that TGR, a fancy smunchy keyboard company made. That board itself costs like 3K USD or something at this point, so it is way out of reach, but cheaper options have cropped up. I do actually have another one, which I think I have over here. So I have this guy, but I have some issues with this one. Namely, this is like stacked acrylic, which let's just say that I quickly fell out of love with the sound profile. And it has a few other issues, like it's mil-maxed, so it's sort of hot swap, but like not really. If you like pop out like one of the keys on the sides, then like good luck getting it like back in properly, and yeah, a bunch of issues. But ultimately, I don't love how it sounds and how it feels, so hopefully this will be a bit better. But I'm just babbling incessantly, am I not? So let's go ahead and test this. Let's make sure that the PCB works okay. Yep, we have LEDs and they are mighty RGB. Wow. Okay, let me quickly bring up the keyboard tester, or VIA. Reset, and let's give it a shot. So this time I actually looked for the tweezers before the stream started, and let's go over the contacts, make sure everything works. Actually, this is probably better than the other way around, even though it does have like very sort of violently shiny RGB LEDs. We'll look into how to turn these off in a moment. Okay, the page up on this side, the page down, and a bunch of other keys. Did I manually short something? Yep. I'll be doing that. Let's reset just in case. Okay. Check the number row. Okay, well, we have an interesting binding here. Okay, they do register as separate keys. That's good at least. I actually go ahead and change the layout. We are here. Able to be yeah, okay. Let's go over the number row. Hello, Nugs. We're building an even weirder keyboard today, so I'm very glad you're here. Kind of wish this had like sounds or something built in, but not in this economy. We have some more interesting bindings here. Those we can address a little bit later. Let's just make sure that all of the contact points work for now. How's life? Life's better than it was a week ago. I fell like quite ill like about 2 weeks ago after going to the board game camp. and it was not fun for a while. Okay. Oh wow, we have a dedicated caps lock LED. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but if we turn it on, then it's like shining like a nice teal color. That's cute. If I was saying something and then stopped saying something, then please do let me know, because I am extremely distractible right now. Ooh, a squirrel. Right, once again, an interesting binding here. I think we by default have two B buttons, because this is a slightly odd asymmetric layout. Outer space here. It's all the control. We should have a Windows key here in the middle, or like at least that's sort of what I'm used to. Let's make you left, and test that separately. Yep, that works. Okay, so from what I could tell, all of the necessary bits worked, or all of the keys that we touched work. There were some weird configuration things going on here, but I mean, we can just like address that once we have them board. So to start off, let's start working on the stabs, or the stabilizers. And these I'm going to be, well, not scavenging per se, but these I'm going to be taking from a Tromso PCB. TLDR, helped my friend build a keyboard, lent some stabilizers to him, he brought them back, and well, otherwise I'm out of stabilizers, so let's quickly get this out of the back. It's fighting me a little bit. There we go. And let's start by just like dismounting them from, or unmounting them from this board. I forgot. This PCB that I'm unscrewing these from right now is kind of cursed, in the sense that my friend got it for his XHT-BDZ Aurora, because, well, I mean, wireless, right, or Bluetooth. And it turns out that this runs like some slightly exotic firmware, and the actual configurations options are very, very limited. And like out of all the wireless options available for that keyboard, he picked like the worst one accidentally. So he rebuilt it wired, and he's been very happy with it ever since. But it's probably like a slight user experience downgrade for going from a wireless board to a wired one. that is the PCB. I will remove like the band-aid bits and clean it up like a little bit later, off stream probably. But for now, I'm just gonna put it back in its bag. And we have some cleaning up to do, so should probably go and get some paper towels. So I'll BRB. It's just going to take. Okay, sorry about that. Found it. It was, of course, the last place I looked, as usual. But yeah. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be dismantling these, cleaning off like the old lube, because there is quite a bit of it, and then just like sort of refreshing that a little bit. And this layout needs, I think, four to use that, so 4 of these short ones. I will deal with the long wide maybe later, or let's see what the pacing is going to be. I know that, like, if I think I could do with turning the music down just a little bit. Yeah, okay. Good catch. Thank you. Hopefully this is better. Just like let me know if it's okay. Sorry about that. Once again, a new audio setup, which I did not have due to dumb self-imposed time limitations. Easier to hear? Okay, good. Thanks. Saying no recollection. Nothing like a Red Bull from a mug. Not sponsored. Get these guys. We'll just put the external housings aside. One of our cats, CD, just jumped into my wife's lap, and it's the cutest thing ever. There might be some cat camera options available a bit later as well. Like I did the sort of technical setup now, I just need the models to appear in opportune places. Okay, so these were actually surprisingly dry. Like at least the outsides of them were like surprisingly dry. I'll quickly like get the excess from the insides of the external housings. It's a mouthful. And then work from there. Hi Denisium, thank you for the follow. We actually missed one. Okay. You know, I'm gonna call these clean enough and just carry on. Let's see. So let's open our box of tricks, and this is our lubing brush. I think I was actually using like a different one before, but this one was at my desk, and it's not very good. So it's just a proper sacrifice. Or like one that I'm not going to necessarily miss, or like painting miniatures or whatever. Let me actually go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Oh, nope, that's the wrong direction. There we go. So what are we doing? We are lubing stabs or stabilizers. The bit that sort of goes under the longer keys, and make sure that when you press them down or when they bounce back up, then you don't break the switch, or you don't break the stem of the switch by like bending it too much. And it is important to lube these because, well, in their sort of factory configuration, which is bone dry, they can be like quite scratchy or quite rattly. And even if you're, you know, not like ready to delve into like the weird world of lubricating your keyboard switches, then like stabilizers are something that I feel should be lubed in every single board. Even the ones that you get from the shop, is like otherwise they're not gonna sound great. They're gonna sound like some springy, rattly mess. And these specific stabs are, I think, Durock Smoky. No, not Smoky. These are just Durocks. Usually I use Durock Smoky Grays. The difference being that the housing of the stab, or the housing of the stabilizer on the Smoky Grays is, well, slightly less translucent, darker gray plastic. But like outside of that, there's like no difference between these and Smoky Grays. I'm like used to using these, and I sort of know how they behave. I'm used to like sort of the amount of lube that I need to put on them, etc. Like a comfort pick, yes. could swear I've done... Ah, okay. Not necessarily keeping count, so... we need 4 pairs, so 8 in total. And we're halfway there. Making sure that I assemble them the right way around as well. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And there we go. I'll just set the rest aside for now. I have like a small tray here, but I don't want to have to worry about these anymore for now. Let's clean off our brush. And then get to the slightly messier stuff. So I'm using 2 different kinds of industrial lubricant. The housings I lube with 205G0 or Krytox 205G0. The camera will ever focus. This one I think I got from lube.no, a small Norwegian web shop. And for the wires, or the sort of interface, or the contact points between the wire and the plastic, which is going to see like a lot of action actually, I'm going to be using BDZ. Right to Krytox BDG 1.5. I don't remember like the exact sort of proper name for this, but it's like a slightly, it's more of like a grease, whereas this is sort of like a slightly runnier, but still like not like oily lubricant. And I'm just going to be making sure that the elbow also gets some of the grease on it, and then just assemble them. These are slightly messy from before, so that's fine. So, whereas we previously sort of made sure that the bit of the stabilizer that's supposed to travel up and down inside the housing moves like without friction and is nicely lubricated, then what we're doing right now is making sure that the contact point between the metal wire, which I'm pretty sure is steel, and the plastic housing is also lubricated, because that's where sort of most of the friction is going to be happening. And so the mechanism kind of clips together, and the wire like clips into like this little. The camera will focus. I don't think it will, but maybe. It's not. So essentially, I'm trying to make sure that the bits where metal is touching plastic are nice and covered. And it can look like a little bit messy, but I mean, it's fine. If like something does sort of spill, or if there's like too much, then you can always just like remove it, wipe it off, and then sort of go over it with isopropyl alcohol to get rid of like any residue. I'm not too worried about that. And here I'm also trying to make sure that I'm assembling them the right way around, because the bit that slides up and down in the stab housing, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, maybe. Once again, focus issues. And this camera has more focus issues than I do, and I have ADHD. What was I saying? Also focus issues. So the bit that's moving out up and down can like go in like one of two ways, and if you put it in the wrong way, then the entire thing is not gonna work. So to avoid having to essentially tear down the entire keyboard once we're done building it, we're doing multiple unit tests on the way just to make sure that it does work as intended in isolation. This is fairly messy. Of course, there's a cat hair involved in the mix as well. It's like just like any good recipe. Okay, this works. And now the last one. Cat hair, your favorite, yeah. It's there's things that they don't tell you about life with long-haired cats, especially if you have like 4 of them. There's cat hair literally everywhere. Like I don't think I've opened up like a single piece of electronics in this household without like removing at least its like sort of own internal volumes worth of cat hair from the system. Okay, so now that these are assembled, just make sure that they work okay. Yep, seems fine. So next up, let's screw them to the PCB. I'll just put this away for now. So here, the unintuitive part is that the part with like the little metal inserts visually looks bigger than the part that's actually supposed to go in the bigger hole. So I had some difficulties with that when I was starting out. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I should have somewhere some stickers or some stab stickers. If I don't, then that's fine, but Usually I like to put like a band-aid mod or something like that on like the spacebar. No, can't seem to be able to find it. That's fine. This is a hot swap board, and I am very likely going to be like swapping out the switches on it soon. So yeah, I'll just like deal with it later if it's too loud. Okay, that's one of them done. I'll just go ahead and clip the other ones in as well. We can sort of start getting an idea of what the layout's going to look like. I mean, I know what the layout is going to be looking like, but pretty sure there's people in the audience that do not know what an Alice board is. That's fine. I don't know everything. Whoop, there we go. This is going to be like a fairly short stream, I think, simply because we are dealing with a hot swap board, and we are going to do something that I know a few people will shun me for, which is running switches stock. But those switches are really, really nice stock, so I don't even feel bad about that. Namely, we are going to be using Aqua Kings, or like these cool translucent plastic switches that like probably have the tightest manufacturing tolerances out of like any switch that I've tried. It's like usually you have like some wobble in the stem of the switch, just because like it's, you know, it's not like super high precision spec equipment or anything. So you have people putting in switch films, which like sort of tighten the tolerances a little bit, and well, do change the sound profile a little bit as well, but that's, in my opinion, secondary. Switch films. But Aqua Kings are like, they have zero stem wobble, which is like kind of weird at first, but once you get used to it, it's like, it's kind of difficult to go back to like other switches. And I do have a set in one of my other boards as well, which I don't have at home right now. It's in the office, but yeah, I have another set that is lubed and soldered. Okay, so now that the stabs are in, let's actually go ahead and do like a quick sanity check. Let's see, let's make sure that the stabs are all sort of behaving as I would expect them to. And for that, I'm going to be extracting some longer keycaps from this guy. Man, these are ungood. Just remember, this might be a very bad idea because of the issues that we had building the other board the last stream I did. Well, here's to hoping that I'm not gonna like have to tear it apart later on and like rebuild it. Or hopefully not. Okay, let me grab the switches in question as well. There. These, if I remember correctly, were 62.5 grams. The spring weight is 62.5 grams. The sort of response curve of these is not linear. So they do have like a slight slope, if I remember correctly. So they feel like a little lighter at first, and then sort of get heavier as you sort of bottom out. But I think the other ones that I had were 65 grams or 67, and like those are just a little bit too heavy for my taste. So let's see how this fares. It's 2 down. Get 2 more. Of course, the other board being hot swapped as well, I'm pulling like switches with keycaps. And since it's got me one mount, then like putting those back might be a little bit of a challenge, but let's burn that bridge when we get there, as they say. And these are sort of random in their position right now. I just sort of want to make sure that they behave the same way. Okay, let's actually go ahead and give it a listen. I will turn off my voice mic and turn on like the other one that I have here. Okay, sounds about right to me. They sound, well, fairly equal. They sound like fairly equal, and once I sort of place it down, then they sounded exactly like each other. So that's good. So we'll just pull these off. Oop. And let's actually go ahead and assemble the other board as well before we do anything else. And I'll just like check this for now. It has some lube residue on it. Oh, it's a heavy boy. And I think we have an issue here. This doesn't really want to like clip in properly anymore, which means that I might need to like take this entire thing apart later on and like address it individually. I think it worked as expected. Ooh. Were I a religious man, I would be listing deities right now. Let's actually go ahead and make sure that it still like actually works as well. Bring up, yeah. Well, we have an issue. Yeah, so here's what happened. We bent like one of the switch legs when reinserting the switch. try and fix that, and like if it doesn't work after this, then I'll just like not worry about it for the time being. Don't want to stream for like 4 hours again. I mean, not that I mind the company or anything. It's been a day. Okay, so what I've done is I've tried to, as best as I could, straighten the legs of the switch. Not sure why it's not focusing again. Awkward. Ah, Lumix, I swear. Okay, now well, according to the tester, it works at the very least, so... Guess we're taking this apart later. What happened is that the corner switch popped because there was too much pressure on it, which means that the gummy worms like almost stepped out. I kinda hate this. Well, actually, I did sorta seem to get it to work. You know what? I'm gonna stop touching this keyboard for now, and or make it even worse. Ugh. Okay, but back to the matter at hand. So we put the stabs in the PCB, which means that we should now be able to start putting in the switches. Let's go ahead and check out the case first. Oop. Okay, so that is all there was in the box. Let's see here. We make this thing off. Okay, so it's obviously injection molded. I personally quite like the look of injection molded plastic. I think it looks like sort of it kind of like harkens back to my childhood in a weird way. And I especially like electronics that are sort of translucent, so you can actually see the PCBs and stuff in it. Yeah, this is going to look very cool once the RGB kicks in. Right, the case consists of 2 parts. The top and the bottom. It is incredibly light. Like, this is probably around like 100 grams of case, which you know, interesting contrast to like the other metal behemoth that we just looked at. Yeah, looks fine. Like nothing to complain about here. And here is the plate. The plate itself is aluminum, although I think I'm not 100% sure, and don't quote me on this, but I think this is a standard Alice plate. So there should be like plenty of alternatives in other materials available in the aftermarket. They probably used it in the plastic case just to sort of give it like some rigidity. And I mean, aluminum plates don't like sound bad by any means, so I think. But let's go ahead and start putting this thing together. Once again, I'm not going to be putting like any foams or anything inside, simply because I don't necessarily like the sound of like heavily foam-focused keyboards. We did not yet. That's good. There does seem to be like some slight fit issues with the stabs. I like need to be very sort of intentional in how I put the plate on the PCB and like around the stabs. So let's let's see if that like causes us any problems or anything. So as per usual, I'm going to be starting from the corners, just to sort of establish contact. And make sure that the plate is sort of affixed in relation to the PCB. Okay, it seems to be a little concerning, but it'll probably be fine. We got it to like clip in nicely as well, so that should be fine. Where are we not clipped? I'm gonna get the corners done, and then when you guys are in for a little bit of a treat. I have located a cat in an opportune position. Okay, already managed to bend this foot. So my favorite material for plates is POM or POM. I don't remember what the sort of full scientific name for the compound was, but it's like a slightly softer plastic, but or well, POM and FR4 actually. So two favorites. POM is like a softer plastic. FR4 is actually the stuff that printed circuit boards are made out of. POM I really like for its feel. FR4 I really like for its sound. It's like slightly louder than your average plate, and it's like it adds like a nice clack to things, which, you know, if you look at my name, I'm sort of partial to. Oop. And we bent for another one, I think. Kind of frustrating. Hoping I won't do any of these, because otherwise this is going to be a long stream, or like longer than I intend. Just gonna get the ones with the stuff away. I think these are probably going to be like the most sort of troublesome one. Ah, caught in action. Try to bend already. Sometimes, like when the switches ship in a bag like this, then the legs are sort of bent by default, simply because of like them like touching together during transportation. So if I'm not like careful about it, then like it's like very easy to sort of exacerbate the situation by causing additional bends myself. Okay, this one went in. I think not hear a click. Okay. See, this is new out of bag, and we already have like a slightly bent leg. You just like need to make sure that they're kind of in parallel to each other at the very least. So we can just like snap them in. Whoop. Such an unnerving amount of force. Slightly uncomfortable. Yeah, I promised to show you guys something. I'm gonna go ahead and set up like a cat camera. Give me like a minute. Be right back.
Mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Okay, just give me a moment. Right, nice. The software that I use to configure like the video switcher that I have decided to crash, and I don't have a keyboard plugged in. So give me a moment. Still nothing? Okay, well, guess we're, whoa, that is not what I intended to do. Okay, sure. Let's try and do this manually. That is not the one that I intended to change, unfortunately. Crap. Hold on. What the hell is going on? Sorry about this. To fiddle around with it a little bit. Thank you. Okay, well, I mean, it's deciding to be difficult, unfortunately. Let's see, can I figure this out? Really there? That's kind of cute, actually. Like, let's go with that, actually. It's not what I intended it to be, but build up a little. There we go. Oh, reframe it as well. There we go. It's a keycap shaped cat cam. Make of that what you will. Okay. Oh yeah. Hi Theme Conta. It's nice seeing you here. Why is it gotta be difficult? Okay, there we go. So the combination of switches that are manufactured to a very precise tolerance and like aluminum plates is sometimes that like they don't really want to go in that much. And like here, I'm having doubts about the sort of manu tolerances of the plate more than anything, more than the manu tolerances of the switches, because I know the switches are like very much the spec. Already tell that this is going to be like a little bit stiffer than I was originally like intending it to be, but maybe that's fine. I have plenty of like flexi bouncy boards. Variety is the spice of life, or something along those lines. Whatever, don't. Now kind of paranoid and like double checking every single switch I insert, but I mean, better be safe. I mean, we are going to do like at least one more test round before we screw the entire thing together anyway. Managed to somehow get my watch strap stuck in between the plate and the PCB. Instructions unclear. You know what comes. Yeah, I'm gonna do the perimeter first, and then move on to the middle rows. Not even like there's a particular reason for it, it's just how I usually go about this. Switches. Absolutely love how these look. Imagine if I had like transparent keycaps or something for it as well. Could be interesting. Then again, this board doesn't have in-switch RGB, so otherwise that would be wild. Imagine that. It's like beaming stuff straight into your eyeballs. Okay. This one felt weird. Yep. Oh well. Like this foot, fortunately ended up like a little bit curled, or I don't even know how to explain it really. I'm gonna like try and insert it once more, and if it doesn't work, then I'll just like set it aside, leaf swap or something. It's already kind of messing up. First time chat from Elysium. Calm down, Fim, don't get too excited now. It's not that kind of cut stream. Although, I do have like a headband with kitty ears here somewhere. In this economy, anything goes. Okay, we are sort of getting there. It's a few more to go, then we can do a quick test to see how many like of these actually work, how many we need to reinsert, and take it from there. This is probably one of the worst ones I've. Let's see if we can salvage it. Nailed it. Okay, so let's do a quick test run. The caps lock indicator is going wild. Down. This is a wild layout. Change like most of this. Caps lock works and is very shiny. Okay, well, I mean, it looks like everything's working. Let's quickly go ahead and actually take a look at the layout as well. So, having had an Alice sport before, I have like specific preferences, or like I'm like kind of particular in how I want things to be laid out. On all of my boards, actually, I have instead of caps lock, I have escape. Since we are using a split backspace, then this is going to go where it usually is in a HHKB as well. Let's put the backspace right back here. So these are going to be type, and then what was next? Look at a reference. Great. So I usually have like symmetrical tildes or graven commas in the upper corners. What else do we have? The backspace went where it needed to be. This needs to be not our right windows, but it actually should be layers MO1, because this is what's going to be switching between our layers. Tab, escape, left shift, left control, alt space. Okay, everything else in this layer looks to be okay, so let's move over to layer 1. From layer 0 to layer 1, because arrays do not start at 1. So under A and S, I usually have volume up and volume down. So these usually are under media, yeah. So volume down, volume up, and mute. Under I, function I for me usually is print screen. Look for that here. Here. And these should be our arrow key. Left, right, and down. And everything else for now can stay in pass-through. This I would like to make caps lock. I still have caps lock if I really want to. I can hold down the function button, just hit like tab. See, it toggles it. These by default looks to be bound to some RGB stuff. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so the top one toggles RGB on and off, and then the bottom one toggles like different modes. I don't know if you guys can see the underlighting here, but there's a party going on here. Here I want to have delete, so function backspace. And then we have like duplicated page up and page down. Page up, page down. And like most of this, I didn't actually make up myself. It's sort of ruthlessly stolen from HHKB, or the Happy Hacking keyboard. They managed to figure out like quite a lot of like sort of nuisances when it comes to like more form factor keyboards. Okay, that seems work. Doesn't look like page up registered, okay. Let's take another look at that. Let me think about it for a moment. Okay. Should be this way around that. This is page chat. Yep, there we go. User delete. We have an F row as well. And the caps lock. Perfect. So let me make VA disappear for a moment, and let's try and assemble this thing. Let's unplug this. And let's start out by putting the PCB together with the top half of the case. Cool. No issues here. No play or anything. Seems to fit just straight. Ah. So here's one thing that I didn't know. This actually came with stabs, which makes it a better deal than I thought it was even. It's not like it was super cheap, but for like a custom keyboard kit with like a slightly more exotic layout, it was fine. I think it was like 120 something euros. So we have a bunch of screws. We also actually have a bunch of washers. I suspect that the washers are not big enough to fit on top of the screws. Yep, okay. I'm guessing these are meant for the stab. For the stab screws. Weird that they would package these together, but it's like not a nuisance or anything. We'll just go ahead and separate them. Okay, there. So we can put away our Phillips head, and I think this is 2.5 mil hex. Yep. And a little bit once again as well. I'm gonna start from the corners, just to get it like affixed to the top half of the case, and we can take it from there. Okay, we do have some sort of interference, which is kind of weird. Let me screw these. So the top half is not sitting right. Let me just quickly check if everything's okay on this side. Okay, well, this has been a fluke. What I like about this kit thus far, well, what I like very much about this kit is that these are not like exactly like M1.5 or M2 screws. I think these are M3. They're like slightly thicker than what's usually used in custom keyboard kits, and that's good because you have bigger threads. You have less of a chance of like something stripping the first time you build it, which let me tell you, very frustrating. As evidenced like 2 or 3 weeks ago whenever I built the Scarlet. I brought it up with their Discord as well, and like apparently it's a known issue and like remedied by getting like slightly longer screws because the thread actually goes deeper than the stock screws. Like, still, like, why would you ship a kit like that? It's kind of weird. CD, yes. CD. This is adorable. I feel kind of sorry about disturbing her sleep, but well. Yes, Kitty. You got that right. But it's the only appropriate reaction here, I think. Okay. It's surprisingly stiff. At first, well, first as far as first impressions go, anyway. But let's see what it feels like when the entire thing is built. Snaps together very nicely. No issues here. So once again, start from the corners. Just travel here is like kind of short, so I just want to make sure that I'm not cross-threading anything. Okay. Since this is injection molded plastic and like metal inserts, then don't want to like over tighten them. Like you are gonna, like you're not gonna strip the insert, but you're going to essentially mess up the insert in that it's just gonna start rotating in the little pole that it is in, and you do not want that. Well, good luck taking the board apart after that. Impossible. Look at that cat sleeping. Yeah, this is a very good cat. High quality. So we also have these molded rubber feet. So let's go ahead and apply those as well. I'm gonna do so use tweezers because otherwise I know I'm gonna mess it up. Surprisingly stressful. I think there's still like some lube from the stabs left on the tweezers, so let's clean that off. These seem to be like exactly the right size. If you have them like overlapping, even like if you have them like even like 1/4 of a millimeter to one side or the other, then they're gonna like stick out. Kinda weird. But wait, whatever. I can make it work. Okay. First try. And that should be it. Or I flip this the right way up. We'll just collect like the stab screws and the little washers. Once I misplace them. Yeah, this kit came with a set of stabbies, or I don't even know how to properly pronounce it. These have like sort of become like a little bit more popular. I think it's like because they use like a POM stem, which is like a plastic with a very low coefficient, friction coefficient. It should be quite nice, especially if you like put like a little bit of lubricant on it. Okay, so before, hey Verihamas, nice to see you here. Before we plug in the cable and start witnessing the disco that's about to go on, let's get some keycaps on it, shall we? Quickly go and grab some. I'll be right. How do I turn off my face? There. I'm muted. Cool. Thank you for pointing that out. TLDR, we're going to be putting GMK Metropolis on it. I pre-ordered this or like participated in the group buy like 2-ish years ago or something, and it finally shipped. Happens to the best of us. Oh no. And what chance do I have? Here we go. This one I feel like has a very cool theme. It's like themed after subway maps, as you might be able to tell by the packaging. But yeah, let's put it together. And we actually do also have a full kit of novelties. Oh, what just happened? Sorry about that. I was not meant to. We also have a full set of novelties, which we can then put in here, and we have something a little bit spicy to top things off. We'll get to that. Let's start with the alphanumeric keys, shall we? So we have tilde, and then and 6. Okay. These are probably in the second layer. Look into those in a moment. Let's just get like everything from this page sorted. I need some more room temperature Red Bull. That probably sounded absolutely disgusting. Looking at the novelties, a majority of the mods we can actually like replace with the novelties. So I'm not going to be putting on like caps lock, tab, and stuff like that for now. And for our H, wait, wrong spot. I was going to say that for our homing keys, or for F and H, we're going to be using scooped, not barred letters. So like, if you sort of compare these visually, around as well, compare these visually, then J is like a lot more scooped. A. And that's sort of what you use to orient your hands on the keyboard without looking. There probably are like barred J and K available here as well. Or, sorry, F and J. But we're not going to use those right now. We definitely have a preference. Towards scooped homing keys. We should have a second B in the box, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, we do. Here it is. Because this layout, actually quite popular nowadays, uses two of them. Right, so let's see, we have 2B or not 2B. 2B, definitely. Like, hands down, the best option is 2B. Right, do we have 1.5U mods in the novelties kit? Where are these? I think these are, yeah, these are 1.5. I think. Let me just quickly check like a reference. Plug it in as well. Okay. Well, let's see what we can figure out. So, profile-wise, so is there anything else here? We should 1.5 U mods, I think. So our controls and alts. Controls here in the corner. Unplug it as well. Controls in the corner and alts in the middle. Right, I think we are looking at a mono stepped caps, so we are gonna have to put this one on. I don't think there's a novelty that's a step caps lock, nope. Yeah, but that's fine. It looks nice. And yeah, is it for this kit? No. Okay, we have our split backspace pipe. Wait, that is completely the wrong profile. Hold on. Low? Okay. This one should be the right profile. And we have one extra nubs key, which we are going to use. I think outside of these, that's it for the base kit. We do it like this. The other way. This is like. You can always just like switch it later. Okay. Now for the space bars. Not much to mull over here. We're just gonna grab like the 1.27 and 2.75 and 2.25 length spacebars. Is this the right length? Yep, looks like it. Hello, Only Retro. Nice to see you here. Oop. You were right for the best part. We're unboxing toys. Okay. Now for the novels. Okay. My wife just brought my attention to the fact that there is something incredibly cute going on the cut shelf, so let me quickly address that. I'll actually just like go ahead and just give the entire screen to them for a moment. Let's see. Ah, such cuties. I need to do something about this thing. It's not the button that. This. Here we go. There. Those are Suzy and Saffron, yeah. And we actually have Edie sleeping just downstairs as well. Oblivious about what's going. Okay, consider my heart warmed. Like, Savo and Saffron are too similar for you. It's actually quite easy to tell them apart. Saffron is like a lot smaller, but of course, like for that you would need to have like some sense of scale, as in like you would need to be in the room. So, catharsis, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Let's see here. What row are these? Could these be our tab backspace? Yes. That's exactly what they're for. What am I building today? Praxis with Oil Kings? Praxis with Aqua Kings. Oil Kings, I think, are like all black. Or like this sort of translucent black plastic. Well, I'm not sure if you guys saw what happened. I didn't, but apparently there's just a Sabro there. Sure, not gonna question it. Okay, we have these in place. Let's look for something for the bottom row. I feel like this should be something colorful. Maybe like the green. Saf just came and slapped Suzy. Okay. Well, maybe you mean Sabro? I don't think this is the right profile for a bottom row though. This is a shame. What is the right profile for bottom row? Okay, let's sort out everything else first. These, well, I mean, we're obviously going to need to have traffic lights in the upper corner. Upper left corner. Left. Cats that there just came and slept, Suzy. Okay. Suzy's companion left as well because rude. Yeah. She just wanted to like be on the stream, I think. Really digging the novelty keys? Yeah, me too. Let's see if there's anything bottom row friendly here. I think this one. Well, since the rest of the bottom row is actually red, let's go ahead and try this guy. There. And we can then go ahead and this one here as the function key. No, there's a better option. There is this guy. Yep, right profile as well. I'm liking the look of this. For my final trick, I have my very first metal novelty keycap. Unfortunately, it's from a company that, since I ordered it, has, well, not exactly shown themselves from a good side. But, I mean, I wasn't going to cancel my entire pre-order for this, so... Our no keycap, yeah. This is a milled aluminum. Well, really nice red color in real life. Just put the leftover novelty key away. And put our crown jewel here. There we go. So, I think it's time to clean up a little and do like a typing test. Or what do you guys think? Actually, before that, let's check out how the RGB looks as well. If I'm not mistaken, it was, yep. Oh wow. Okay, that is pretty intense. Okay, I think I managed to reset the EEPROM. Right, this combination here is reset, so it went into bootloader mode. I've got 2 tildes in each corner. Yeah, that's how I'm used to working, actually. I have the same layout on most of my boards, actually. Like the Canon Keys Pakineko, for example, has 2 tildes in the upper corner. Same was with Meridian, actually. Okay, let's find like an RGB mode that's not like too offensive. Not sure how much of it like you guys can actually tell from the screen, but whoa, yeah, this is not it. Those. Okay, let me clean up the view a little and let's do a typing. Unfortunately, that means that for now, visually mute Sabro. And I'll just go ahead and pause the music as well, and switch myself over to the other microphone. I need to place it so that it's like not actually in the frame. Okay, here we go. Let me quickly bring up monkey type. Swap over to the and let's give it a whirl. Probably a good idea to have monkey type focused before I start, but you know, whatever. Okay, let's try it again. Try that again. Okay, something's off. Caps lock. Okay, let's restart. Let's do that once more. Yeah, well, The results themselves are not great, but I actually really like the feel and the sound of this. Like that you guys sampled mods and stuff as well. Have to say, I am very happy with how it turned out. It is like a little bit louder than I expected it to be, but I don't think that's like necessarily a bad thing. It feels like sort of nice and poppy, while it's like not like too super stiff. Yeah, I like it. So since unfortunately no one managed to ask me about the meetup during the stream, then I'm gonna go ahead and fill that role myself. So if you're in Estonia, or if you're near Estonia, and you want to try out this keyboard and a bunch of other very cool, slightly more exotic boards, then I encourage you to come to our meetup, which is on the 25th of March in Palo Alto Club Telskivi. If you go to keeb.ee, so keeb.ee, you should have a link to a Discord, which should have like the event link. I think there's also a Facebook event that I'm sure only Retro can go ahead and link in the chat, if you would be so kind. And yeah, we're just going to gather. Some people are going to put their boards for sale. I'm probably like going to be selling like a few of my boards that I'm not really using anymore. We're gonna have like a monkey type competition, so if you're a fast and accurate typer, then you might go home with a new keyboard. And in general, just like hang out, maybe drink some beverages, eat some nice snacks, and generally have a good time. Thank you for the link. But yeah, I think that's it for me today. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up and clean up the mess that I've made on my desk, and I mean, what else is there to say? I am very likely going to be streaming again next week. Probably, if not Tuesday, then Thursday or Wednesday. And then we're going to be rebuilding like a board that I managed to pour a bunch of coke in. My Meridian, which is also like a slightly similar layout, but not quite the same. Jeff's keyboard. Yeah, I really like how this looks. Don't even like care about the RGB too much, but like I really love how it turned out, and it feels great as well. So if you guys want to try it out, 25th of March, Palo Alto Club. And yeah, thanks everyone that joined us today. I hope you had a good time, and see you next week. Sorry for arriving late. Yeah, no problem. I'll try and actually upload a VOD for a change. But yeah, cheers guys, and well done. I'm not ready to press the button yet. Okay, now I'm ready to press the button. Bye. That was the wrong button, but maybe it was the right button instead.